The first thought is that, I wouldn't wanna commit a crime and end up in jail for several years, because imagine how much the world will move on while you rot in prison. You'd be so out of touch with what's going on currently, that your view on trends, viral songs, popular artists and other things etc., are years old. Like imagine you name a viral song popular on social media only to find out that the artist behind the viral song had one hit only, that song, and they didn't gain popularity again. Imagine naming a popular artist only to find out the album she released before you were in prison wasn't their most recent and they released a whole bunch of singles plus another full album. Imagine how many movies that were anticipated to be released have released, or how many popular show seasons finales have happened and other things. I wouldn't wanna commit a crime if I'm gonna be so lost when I get out on what's currently trendy, popular and what's going on in the world. Also, I know this is a dumb thought because I literally committed a crime and brought this upon myself, so this should be the least of my worries, and I know that. This was just a dumb thought that I had. The next thought is that, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've noticed from the Uncle Roger videos that I've watched, I always see him reacting to and criticizing chefs, or reacting to and praising chefs who make existing foods, like egg fried rice, butter chicken, adobo etc. He'll always be like, X ingredient correct, but will always blow up when the dish is messed up by the wrong method, wrong ingredients, right ingredients but used at the wrong time and whatnot. But what I've noticed from what I've watched is that when Uncle Roger reacts to, for example, Jamie Oliver's cooking, he has reacted to Jamie Oliver making existing dishes and not Jamie Oliver if Jamie made up his own dish from scratch that is not an already existing dish of a culture that Jamie Oliver messes up. IDK, I've noticed this and from what I see that is actually cool and I give Uncle Roger a pass for criticism and praise for certain chefs he reacts to making those dishes because Uncle Roger has the knowledge and doesn't go for everything a chef does. And yeah, from the videos that I've seen of his, I have yet to see him go after someone making an original dish, but why would he? Because that dish is something brand new, and unless he goes after someone who makes a new dish that has some weird-ass combinations that would be an everybody's so creative type dish, then there's no reason to go after someone's original dish that is not a food war crime. I like that about Uncle Roger for only criticism on food that have a set way to make them and not food he's not knowledgeable on when that food is something new created out of nothing. The next thought is that, before I used to be so in awe of people singing, but now that I've discovered Phil, Wings of Pegasus, I see a cover or a singing clip on YouTube Shorts or watching a live performance somewhere while scrolling and I don't get wowed anymore. Because of learning things from Phil about pitch correction and other stuff, it has opened my eyes more and I don't see singing in the same light anymore. Of course I knew about certain live performance places like It's Live for Korean artists not being live or other performance places like First Take not being live and things like lip syncing existing, but with Phil, I now look at singing clips online of random people singing uploaded by some account who posts about random singer clips to showcase the good singing voices, and I listen to them and I can hear the editing on the vocals and it being noticeable now. Before I was wowed away by how great the singer sounded, but now I'm listening to singing clips and I wonder, is this live? And it's sad to me because I would be able to find more fake singing than real live singing, which shows how many people go the route of pitch correction or auto-tune or editing their vocals even if it's just simple singing in some random parking lot or in their kitchen. I feel like the only real singing to show up would be people singing without an instrumental, because I don't think people would go that far to even fake their own recording into a camera vocals only singing, because that would be the lowest of the low with vocals. It's saddening that people go this route of editing their vocals to make it sound perfect and flawless like they're actually hitting all the notes when they're not. And a lot of people are clueless in not knowing what's fake and what's real. I know that I still cannot tell with a lot of vocal singing clips, and I don't blame these people for not knowing because it's not their fault that they think the person sings like they're slaying hard because the singer edits themselves that way, but I do think that now people should try to be more aware of fake singing and not just come in blindly praising the singer but should also wonder and think if the singing is being done in real time or not. Blind praises for singing leads to blindly thinking the singer has a great voice leading that video, short etc., to be viewed a lot when in reality, the singer might not be as good if they're editing their vocals to be perfectly flawless. Also, if the singer is that good, then why edit your vocals in the first place? If you can hit all the notes, do you need to edit the vocals unless you're editing out background noise or other things that ruin the singing clip unrelated to your vocals? The next thought is that, I've just realized that Scooby-Doo is actually so weird. In the show you have whack jobs dressing up as monsters to scare people, and then Scooby-Doo and the gang come to solve the mysteries only to find out that it's a human under that mask. Like, how do these humans have the time and energy to keep scaring people in these costumes every single moment, even having chase scenes? And having ulterior motives, why did they dress up as monsters to do so in the first place? Why did they have to go out of their way to buy and own a monster costume to keep and wear it? Also, there are different monsters in different places, aka different humans dressing up as different monsters in the different places, in the different episodes, movies. Why are there so many whack jobs enough to form a community of Monsters United? Lol. When they're solving the mystery, why can't they just end the case early by finding out who purchased a monster costume in that area where the monster is, or find out who owns a monster costume if the area is in the middle of nowhere? Another thing is that why do Scooby-Doo and the gang get scared by the monsters? Do they just automatically forget the last mystery that they had to know that this monster is also a human, and that all the other monsters are human? I'm just so confused by how thinking about these things makes Scooby-Doo so weird. And yes, I know it's a cartoon and cartoons are cartoons and they make no sense, but it doesn't stop me from having all these thoughts. LMAO. The next thought is that, people say, I like this song because it's by X artist, and I believe that's valid because I say it too, but I say it more beforehand before checking out the song, thinking, since I like this artist and they've never really let me down, I know I'll like this song too. But for people who like a song after listen, and their like for the song is mainly due to the person making the song and not the song itself, does the person actually like the song? Because saying they like the song because of the artist doesn't seem to tell me if they actually do like the song or just say they do because of that said artist. Because imagine if the same song was released by someone else. Would the person still like the song? Or are they blinded by the artist behind it? You liking an artist, therefore you like the song, seems like you're biased to the artist, and so you're not truly liking the song at all. And yes, you're biased, because you could be hating the song but force yourself to like it due to the fact that artist is your favorite, and then that leads us to think that you may not be a music listener for the joy of it. Do you even have a music taste at this point? Because if you have a, I like the song because I like the artist, mentality and the artist is a diverse artist, we may not know that you like the song if there are sounds that you hate but don't show it because the artist is your fave. Music is meant to be enjoyed, not forcibly supporting someone where the music doesn't hit all the time. And yes, I know that the music can hit all the time if the artist is genuinely someone you like, because I genuinely like all the songs of certain artists, but we can't rule out forced support existing because not everyone is genuine. The next thought is that, IDK if people look at this, but I was thinking about good singers and their bad music. And no, I'm not talking about good musicians making bad music, or even musicians who once made bad music but then later on improved, because that definitely happens, but I'm talking about good singers, and having talent doesn't automatically mean that these singers are good to make music, since yes, you have the talent and can sing well, but how well does your vocals translate into music, if your music ends up being trash? Like, I know for a lot of singers the labels are writing the songs, but also there are singers who are writing their own music too. The problem lies in the music you make, where your writing could be trash, and or if others are writing for you, that could be trash, or maybe the lyricism part is good but the music itself is trash. Yes, you can then find better music producers, lyricists for better music, or maybe you yourself realize that writing is not your strong suit compared to your singing, and so you hire someone else to help with the lyrics. But if you as an artist continue releasing bad music, then what's the point in being an artist if the only good thing is your vocals when everything else needs a change but no change is done? Vocals can only save you in covers or competitions where you outbeat bad singers, but even then you're possibly singing other songs existing. At that point might as well become a cover artist or tribute artist alone if nothing is done to fix the original music you're releasing. Your talent means nothing if it's not used to make music that can be viewed positively. The next thought is that, travel vloggers can sometimes be a problem because of the trouble they cause, but most of the time I like subbing to them for their content in different countries. See, the Western and mainstream media portrays places like Syria, Afghanistan, these are just examples, and others etc. in a certain way and pushing a certain narrative because of what happens there or has happened there and such, but when I watch travel vloggers it's a completely different story, because the travel vloggers are the ones who are actually going to these places to show the truth of things and if what the news says is actually true or not, or if there's any truth at all. The media will not be showing you the good sides of a country seen in a certain way, and that's why I put my trust in travel vloggers to show me what the country's places are actually like, with the people, the culture, the food, etc. These travel vloggers show us the beauty of a country that often gets overshadowed by the media narrative portrayed, and it makes me sad. Because the country is filled with people who have a beauty in them that shouldn't be ignored simply because of certain things that end up making us think of the country, and our thoughts instantly think of that thing that is portrayed about the country, even leaving us hesitant to wanna actually visit the country because of that one thing shown on news when looking at the country, which is sad because what if the people in that country want you to visit them? I love that travel vloggers exist, because they take the risk beyond media portrayal, and even if there are issues that they could face in the country, they still go. We should give more credit to travel vloggers for this. Amazing people. The last thought is that, when we have content, for example, you'll see Asian content. No matter what type of Asian they are, and they make skits or any type of content where they portray their Asian parents, where the Asian parents are strict, or even if they do, white parents versus Asian parents, and the white parents seem less strict than the Asian parents, are the content creators doing an accurate portrayal of their Asian parents even compared to white parents, or are they just faking it for views when their actual parents may not be this way? Because for the most part I see quite a few Asian creators portray strict Asian parents, and I know that different Asians share similarities between them despite being so different, especially with like certain things they do that other Asians can relate to, and strict parents do exist across the board in Asia, but how do we know that all these creators are telling the truth? And yes, I know that these creators are playing characters, and those characters could just be a fake portrayal, made up storyline, but why are the portrayal of parents for some of the creators the same type of parents that is strict with the same or similar type of strictness of not allowing their child to do things, like getting a tattoo for example, because not every Asian parent is the same, and not every Asian parent fits into this box of strict Asian parents portrayed in these skits. This is why I like content creators like Jenny Weenie, who portrays her Korean mom, but makes skits about her for different scenarios not related to the strictness of her mom, which is great, because I wanna see more portrayals like that, and more other types of parents than one set category.